So we'll talk about one of the parts, which was the ceiling. Obviously, in one of the previous videos, I wanted to know if there were beams underneath the polystyrene tiles that were on the ceiling. So you removed all of those successfully, didn't you? We'll put a bit of footage on.
Put the hardboard underneath it, rip it down to
you
expose. You can see what's actually there.
You'll be able to see what we found. Yeah. And one of the reasons I mentioned about the electrics earlier is because one of the things you found under there was not great with the electrics, was it? So.
Slightly dodgy wiring, but.
You have a bad feeling about this?
Not really.
No.
It's stabbing something.
I hope it's just nice beams.
It goes in the back. It's just polystyrene.
Alright.
They are literally just polystyrene tiles.
Well, they've got to come off because they're a fire hazard.
And I know that because
we've seen some.
there were some spare ones over there.
How thick were they?
About a centimetre thick.
So why can't you take that one out?
Because it's all stone.
I want to see what's underneath it.
It's actually not been.
No, so I see. So what is that underneath?
It's the hardboard.
Still don't know if there's beams, but I'm guessing there are. That feels like it sounds like a beam, doesn't it? Ooh, can't wait to find out what's under there.
It's absolutely roasting out there at the moment. So I've actually got a little bit of work I need to do in here. So what I'm going to do is Nikki would like these tiles that are above my head taken off, and the bit of board that we've got underneath is exposed at the moment. So once that all taken off, so we can have a look and see the state of the actual beams and ceiling that's obviously been hidden by that. What we would like to be able to do is expose the beams and then maybe plasterboard and insulate in between the beams. But obviously it would depend on the condition, what they look like, etc. Otherwise it'll be a case of plasterboarding over the lot of it. But she doesn't want these, so we're going to rip them down. Oh my god, bloody hell. Just saw something out of the corner of my eye, as you see, it made me jump. Just because I didn't know what the bloody hell it was. And it was actually a swallow. Just flew into the room and then back out again. I thought I'd been ninjaed for a moment. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with this and see what I can do. Okay, so I have got a little bit of safety gear this time. I ain't wearing a mask. And goggles, got my gloves on as well. I think the first thing is just to that looks pretty good. That's it's going to come out, but the beam's look in pretty good condition. I can't see any woodworm in there, and obviously the floorboards from above look okay as well. So I think we might be lucky here. So there's an electric cable going across the top here, so I have to be a little careful while I go and cut this. Obviously it's going to go across there somewhere towards the light switch, light fitting itself. So basically, yeah, that's what we wanted to see, and it looks like we might be in luck. So I'm not going to video the entire thing of me doing all this, but what I will do is come back after I've finished, and yeah, we'll have another look and see. Gosh, it's as good as it looks so far. Cheers for now. I've worked out a great big chunk at the moment, so I'm carrying on obviously watching for that cable. I can see where it is now. Now the light fitting is here, and I turned obviously all the electric off because that doesn't look, should we say, great. I mean, I'm not an electrician, but that looks proper ropey. So as I said, turned off all the electrics now, and I'm going to disconnect this and try and isolate it a little bit, because that's just shocking. Bit warm, but majority of it is now off. As you can see, it's all on the floor. Bit of a mess. I know a few people at work wouldn't be too happy with this, because there's some mega cobwebs going on here. They definitely would not be too happy. I would run a mile on those girlies. No offence to girlies, I know girlies who probably wouldn't run a mile. Yeah, a bit of a mess. I got most of these cross beams, the extra beams that they've put all across. Obviously went all the way across it to put the hardboard on. This was not me. I just want to put that out for a record before Nikki sees it and goes, "Oh, what have you done? You chopped it all away." But it wasn't me. I think they've obviously done that to try and make it flat. Luckily in most cases they actually wedged it out and needed to actually pack it rather than cut it away. The wiring, I'm not sure where that goes, to be perfectly honest. It goes across there to there. So that's now just, I'm assuming that's live at the end there. It wasn't actually doing anything, but it has been taped. So, woo, perfect. And then this is what I'm left with what was wired into the light. So it's across there, and again, not quite sure where it goes, but I have got, hopefully, an electrician coming to come and see, one, obviously where we've got all the sockets and things like that anyway, but obviously you can have a look at this, and we can have a little chuckle together. Yeah, it's majority of it, I mean there's a few splits, old splits, but you know, you can expect that, aren't you? You know, but it's solid. That's not going anywhere, that's absolutely fine. Okay. It's pretty good. And like I said, there's no signs of any woodworm in it, which is brilliant. So we can treat it and do it that way. But it's yeah, I think we're going to be lucky. I hope we're going to be lucky. Anyway, obviously we'll smooth up these bits. I don't mind there's a dent, but obviously it'll be stained probably that dark to a Tudor oak that everybody uses. It'll make a nice contrast. But unfortunately, though, I can see the problem now is, obviously I've now exposed this to have a look at, is I've got a feeling someone's going to want to do that one and possibly that one, but again I'm not sure. It looks in good condition, this one. I really don't see the point. She wants to paint it white maybe or something, I don't know, but I don't see the point in ripping stuff down just for the fun of it. And whilst, you know, its character, even then, you know, there's a possibility we may end up covering all this back up again anyway. We'll just be plasterboard. See what Nikki says when she actually sees it. But as it is, I have to say it has made the room look darker by having that lighter back, you know, the lighter on the actual tiles that were on it. Definitely lit the room up a bit. So I don't know what the answer is there, but at the end of the day, we've had a look. We've got that done. I've got to tidy it all up and do some dusting by the look of it. That's going to be fun. And yeah, and then it's up to Nikki to decide. So onwards and upwards. You never know. Cheers.
that was a fairly pleasant surprise because it was all pretty good.
It was beams,
There's no,
and I really, really wanted beams.
Yeah, there's no.
So really happy
there
about
doesn't
that.
appear to be any woodworm or anything like that in it.
Yeah.
It all looks fairly solid. You should be able to do what you want to do, which is the plasterboard between, and leave the beams or part of the beams exposed.
Yeah, definitely.
There is a couple of bits that they chiselled off when they put their sort of false ceiling up. But that would be easy. We'll just sand that down a little bit, restain it, and it'll be fine.
So you mentioned about whether I would want the same done in the hall. And
I know you
obviously, yes, that's going to have to come down.
I know you will.
So I'm curious to see what's under there. Hopefully more beams.
Yeah.
But the one in the other room, the other bedroom, the wood. No, I think we should just keep that.
I think it looks fine. I
Yeah.
don't see an issue with it.
If
It
we
looks
can
pretty
keep it,
solid,
we'll keep
secure.
Yeah.
And I think if you start banging holes in it, you're going to have to replace the whole thing anyway, aren't you? So I think I would be very inclined to sort of keep that one as it is because it's a nice looking ceiling at the moment.
But I don't want to paint
Don't think
it.
it needs any issues.
Don't think
No,
I
keep it
paint
as it is. I think that whole room actually doesn't look too bad.
No, apart from
Looking
the
at it,
window
obviously
wall.
the window wall needs replacing anyway,
Yeah.
which we've already
We're gonna
got that in
get
plans
done.
to do. We probably going to paint over
The cupboards.
the picture.
Oh, the picture, yeah,
picture wall.
definitely. Definitely.
I'm not sure
yeah.
that's quite us.
And then you uncovered the floor in that same room. You took the laminate off because it was very springy, and also
Actually, it wasn't. That was the funny thing. There was
well,
a
it
couple
felt
of
soft.
there was
not
a couple
springy,
of
but
places
felt
where it
soft.
had popped, so
Under
they'd obviously
the-
screwed it down. Which
under
was
the door,
obviously-
wasn't it?
Which was a weird thing. So where it had popped, obviously due to the damp, I would say, as it swelled, they've screwed it down. So only those ones. But if you actually stomped on the floor around the room itself, it actually felt quite solid. So it was really sort of odd as to what was there. So I pulled up that little bit last time when we were there, one little panel, so to speak, of the laminate, and then underneath that, it seemed to be like a concrete or something along those lines, and then a wood. So we weren't quite sure exactly what they'd done, but obviously once I'd ripped up the rest, I soon discovered what
I'll
they'd
show
done.
you the video. So we've had a look at the floor. Looks like there's some kind of, I mean, we're not builders, so we don't really know, but there's like a concrete layer on top. And then we think there's chipboard, so it must be some kind of concrete panelling of sorts. So we don't know if the floor's going to be any good, but the laminate had got damp and it popped a bit. So we think we're going to have to rip all that up. Definitely, Darren's saying.
So, hi guys, it's Wednesday afternoon. Okay, so the main task today is, the only real task today I'm giving myself, fairly easy day, is to get this laminate flooring up and see what's underneath it. So that's what I'm going to do. So that's the laminate. Now I'm just going to pull it all up and see what we've got. That's the boards up. And now I'm going to pull this away, and I have no idea what that is, but it doesn't look particularly good either. And I got a horrible feeling it's going to be a proper mess. It's yeah. It's okay. Now it makes a bit more sense. Oh God, they've made a right mess of this. I think what they've done is they put a screed, okay, layer, and underneath that is floorboards. Believe it or not. Why on earth did they put this underneath? I have no idea. It was never going to last because obviously it's not designed to move like that. So we're going to have to That's going to have to all be scraped off. There's absolutely no choice. It's literally. Okay. Look at that. Oh my god. That's and there's the floorboards. Oh dear. I can understand putting laminate down over the top, and they've used the liner. That's all fine. What I really don't get is why they had to do that first. Complete or utter waste of time. It's never going to make it completely flat because it's floorboards. And you can see that it's not. It hasn't even gone. You can see that. Absolute waste of time. I don't know why they've done it. Don't know why they bothered. That's going to be an absolute pig to get up. So that's what I'm going to have to do. It's just. I don't know what goes through some people's minds. And then just into the corner here, as you can see, nice big hole, and the boards are gone. So that's a problem for us. I'm going to obviously, the guy who's going to be doing some more building work, I'll have to speak to him about it. I'm hoping that's a job that he's able to do. I don't know what the rest of the room's going to be like, obviously, until I get onto it. So it looks like that's what I'm going to be doing now. Never mind. Onwards and upwards. Okay. So that's the devastation. All that stuff's had to come up. But from mine and Nikki's point of view, that's it's really not what I wanted to see. This floor is absolutely knackered. The entire thing is just rotten all over in place. There's just holes in the sides. It's just, I was really hoping that would be a bit more like the floorboards up there, but it is nowhere near. I know this entire floor is going to have to come up and be redone. There's no ifs, buts or maybes, unfortunately. And the problem with that is, I've then got to look at the others, because if they've done the same in the other two rooms there, the hallway and the other bedroom, then obviously it's going to need doing as well. So this has just become a lot harder than obviously we would have wanted. But that's the way it goes, isn't it, unfortunately. Some things are better than others. I mean, upstairs is really good, so we can still technically do the upstairs for us to live in straight away. We can still get all the electrics into place and everything downstairs, but we are definitely at least going to have to replace this floor completely. I don't even want to think about what the joists might be like. I mean, it doesn't. For places I certainly won't be stamping on it, I can tell you that. I mean, it feels secure from that point of view, so I'm hoping the joists, beyond hope, I'm probably hoping that the joists won't be too bad, but again, looking at the rest of the floorboards, they're going to be naff. Even if it's only in bits, they're going to be naff. It's going to be naff. So now I really need to see my builder before we go back. Anyone want to work in holiday? You never know. So guys, 5 sacks of screed later. Like I said before, who puts screed over a wooden floor? I just don't know. I mean, like I said, I ain't a builder, but I know you don't do that, because I did work in flooring, carpets and vinyls, obviously. Go to Market Carpets, best bargains. And you just wouldn't put screed on a floor like that. And as it is, they've literally just tried to hide the problem, which they did successfully. But obviously, all the time, it just got worse and worse and worse underneath. So I'm hoping we'll be able to take this up actually and maybe put a concrete floor down. Builder's coming in a little while, and I shall, I'll update you then. Cheers for now. Bye.
So how did you feel at your discovery of under the floor?
Yeah, it was not quite what I'd hoped to find, obviously. I still can't fathom who puts a screed, a sort of self-leveling screed over floorboards, because it's just, I mean, there's two factors, obviously. One is floorboards give.
Yes.
So that means all that screed's going to crack, because there's no way it's going to stay solid like that.
No.
And secondly, all the moisture from that screed's got to go somewhere, and they've literally just covered it in. So it really is not a massive surprise that basically that entire floor is done. It's
Shot.
rubbish. The entire thing is rotten, and has got to come up. In places, once I've done it, there's a few places that you really don't want to stand anyway, because it feels like you go straight through.
Really?
Yeah, it's really that bad.
I mean, I had a feeling.
I could probably get most of it up with my fingers.
Yeah. I had a
That's how
feeling
bad
that
it
it
is.
would have to come up. Well, I think I wanted it to have to come up and be concreted. So when you told me, I wasn't surprised. But obviously, I didn't realise they'd done that to the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't overly surprised. We saw a little bit last time that something didn't seem right.
Yeah.
But
Shame,
yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not a huge problem. We can take up the beams that are there, and we can concrete that floor. So
Yeah.
it's really not the end of
It's
the world.
Is the hall like that, and is the other bedroom? Like
Yeah,
that sort of
again,
thing?
the problem is because when you stamp on the floor, it feels quite solid. But the only thing I would say is that the room with the wood panelling is slightly lower.
Right.
It's a slightly lower floor, and it feels slightly different to the one in the hall. So I've got a feeling the one in the hall might be the same
As the
but
one.
as the one I've just discovered. But I think the one at the back, I don't think is. I've got a feeling that might be already a concrete floor by the feel of it.
Okay.
It's like a little bit lower, and it just feels like a little bit more solid. I mean, I could be completely wrong. We could have completely screeded all that as well, which will be another 5 sacks of screed to get up before you do anything else. So yeah, it was disappointing, but not overly surprising.
No.
So yeah, just glad I managed to get to it, so we know what it is. But again, as I said in the video, it's not going to stop us living there. We're going upstairs.
Yeah.
And it's for guest accommodation, so it's a case of it can be done, in
We've
a
got
timely
time.
manner. Yeah, there's
we
no
don't need to rush it or anything.
major problem with that. Yeah, so we'll work that out. That won't be an issue.
Yeah, we'll probably re-laminate the floor, so we'll probably take
so
that.
I think
So we'll be able to find out what's underneath that floor as well, won't
exactly.
we?
So we'll discover then whether we need to do that one as well.
Yeah.
But I think the laminate, again, we're going to have to bring it up just to make sure.
You checked the woodworm under the stairs, didn't you? And you said
There's a
there
little
might
bit
be-
there. There was a little bit there, so I've resprayed that anyway. So
Fingers
hopefully
crossed
that'll be
that's
okay.
gone, because we don't want it spread into our lovely beams.
No, it won't. I've shut that door anyway, so it's whatever's in there is in there now. The mould is obviously still a problem in there.
Yeah,
But we will-
thanks to everybody who made comment actually about getting rid of the mould, because we do realise it needs to go.
But there's a lot in that room that's got to be done anyway, so
yeah,
I
you've
haven't
just
worried.
kept it shut.
I haven't worried too much about it. I've left that room shut. It is what it is. It's there. It doesn't look on the wall. It doesn't look any worse
No.
than it was. So it's not like it's spread or anything like
I
that.
think people are talking about mould spores.
Yes,
breeding
I
there,
can get that. But when we get to doing the floor and everything else, we'll get to that wall as
I
well.
think we'll rip it off.
It'll all have to be chiselled off and
Taken off,
redone.
yeah.
That's,
And
that's-
the bit in the kitchen.
which is absolutely fine.
We'll have it replastered.
yeah,
I think
it's
we
not-
should have a go at plastering that.
Well, I can do. Why not? If it's crap, we'll just cover it behind something.
Yeah. Yeah.